We now welcome in an athlete who has done something only 10 other Olympians in history have ever accomplished, winning 5 gold medals in a single Olympics. He is the best swimmer in the world right now. And here on behalf of his partnership with Omega Watches, the one and only Caeleb Dressel. Welcome to Stephen A's World. What's going on, big time? How are you, sir?
I'm good, Stephen A. I appreciate y'all having me on.
Man, please, the honor is all mine. 5 gold medals in this year's game. How was your experience in Tokyo compared to what you expected?
You know, it was exciting. You know, I do love racing, but those are never the highlights for me, believe it or not. You know, the part that's most special at every single one of these team trips is when Team USA becomes Team USA. You know, we had our camp in Hawaii. And I've never been there, so it was great. I just don't want to look over that. And then we got to stay in a pretty nice hotel. I mean, by my standards, it was pretty nice. And then, of course, competing, you know, looking up at the rings, swimming is the greatest facility I've ever been a part of. So, you know, I came there with a job. I didn't have to execute perfectly. I executed as well as I could. You know, I didn't have a perfect race. I didn't have a perfect swim, but I executed as well as I could in that moment, and I'm happy with the outcome.
You came into these games with a world record, but no previous individual medals. But yet you won, obviously, 3 individuals, 5 total. I mean, when you put that into perspective, as you reflect on it, what are the kind of things that go through your mind right now?
Yeah, you know, I said before, and I'll stand by it. I've never shown up to a meet there to count medals. That's never been my goal. That's never been my goal in the sport. To beat one person in particular, to beat one record, to hit this medal count. That's never it for me. And I think that's why I'm still enjoying the sport and the challenges that it brings. Is because I'm still trying to figure the sport out. I'm still trying to go best times. That's the chase for me. That's the fun part. I know I'll never have that perfect swim, but trying to go those best times, trying to execute as close to a perfect race as I can. I've never even come close. And I'm fine with saying that. I didn't come close at the games. And I think once I have as close to a perfect race as I can, maybe I'll hang up the goggles and call it a day. But, you know, I'm still young in this sport, and I'm still trying to figure out a lot. There's a lot left for me to figure out.
You know, I wanted to ask you what it was like for you, because everybody's talking about how you got so emotional after you won the gold in the 100-meter freestyle. And your beautiful wife, Megan, she was there. I saw her on the tube supporting you. Your mom, your family, everybody was there. It was a beautiful, emotional scene. And I want you to put into perspective why you got so emotional, because you had alluded to it on television. You said we've been through a lot this year. What were you talking about?
I mean, everybody. I think everyone could have resonated with me in that interview. You know, this year there were so many unknowns. There was so much weight on my back. Not from anybody else. Well, yeah, from a lot of people besides myself. But that was what I cared about. Was I wanted my first individual gold, and it was in an event what got me into swimming. I've been swimming 100 free since I was a little kid. So that just how much pressure I put on myself for that race, with the year that we had, with how controversial everything was, to tie it all together in a nice little bow, and just to be able to share that moment with my family. I mean, Megan's been through just as much as I have. You know, we moved in together after we got married in February, and she really got to see the struggles. You know, this isn't all fun and games. You know, I'm not showing up to practice to have a good time. I'm showing up to get better. I mean, the amount of times I've had my head buried in her chest with how frustrating the sport can get. And I don't expect people to see that side. You know, I want to put on a good show on them in the water. I want people to enjoy themselves and feel good about themselves with me, you know, me racing, putting a good show on. But the other stuff is the fun part for me. You know, the valleys, the mountaintops, that's the part where I really grow and learn in the sport. And that's what it's about. You know, as long as I learn something. And that's what I took away from these games. That's when I considered it a success, is if every swim I took away something to learn and move forward, I'd be happy with it. But there's so many unknowns, and being able to share that with my family. I'm a crybaby. I'm a huge crybaby when it comes to my family, and I'm fine with admitting that.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that, my brothers. Nothing wrong with that at all. Here's the deal. I got to confess my jealousy. You know, I got to confess my jealousy, because I look at you and you're swimming, and I'm like, damn, that brother's in good shape. I really need to cut out the candy. I really need to get myself in the pool. I gotta swim. I gotta do all of these other things. What do you tell people out there when they look at you and they say, damn, he's in pretty good shape? Any tips you want to provide? Any tips at all?
Oh, gosh. I mean, I wish it was just as easy as me saying something, but I think that's the beauty of something when you see something great. There's no shortcuts. I couldn't
Right.
even enjoy a piece of candy this year. I tried to clean up as much as I
Wow.
can. If it makes you feel better, I haven't been in the water in like a week. I feel so out of shape right now. I'm not in swim shape, so I feel terrible right now.
Listen, before I let you get on out of here, talk to me about Omega watches because that's one of the reasons that you're on right now. I'm getting ready to go buy one myself. I want you to talk about Omega watches, and I want to see which one you have if you got one on you right now.
I got it packed away. I'm new to the watch world. They're introducing me. They're helping me along the way. But for them, for their support, and especially the names that they've had, I've got some big shoes to fill. I mean, I think everyone's heard of Michael Phelps, Chad Leclos. So for them to recognize me as they love their swimmers, so for me to be a part of that elite group, I really hope I can do my part. And I know it's a two-way street. I know they'll do theirs, but I really hope I can make them proud in the future coming. And I hope I did my job at Tokyo. So I always appreciate their help. They've been nothing but great. I got to get up to Switzerland so I can see their headquarters there.
I don't think anybody will accuse you of not doing your job and not performing, my man. And I want to go back to your career in this respect. You've been very, very open about, just performance anxiety and what have you. And obviously, we've seen a lot of things going on lately. Naomi Osaka in tennis and the break she needed to take, Simone Biles and what she was going through during the Olympics as well. What is it that you'd like to express that you feel people haven't really said about these issues, or just speaking about it from a personal level? How concerned are you about professional anxiety, performance anxiety, and how concerned do you think we should all be?
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone deals with it, and I mean athletes in particular, of course, but it's not something that athletes deal with, and I think it is a problem. And I think the more we talk about it, the easier this discussion gets that it can help someone. So if you see Naomi and Simone, kudos to them for openly talking about it. It can be sometimes hard, especially, I mean, guys and girls, it can look like weakness. And I think that's the biggest problem. It's not so much feeling those feelings. Being able to talk about it is huge, and people deal with it in their own ways. I mean, shoot, I don't eat at swim meets. I don't eat as much, I should say. I mean, I'm eating something, but I don't eat as much. It's hard to sleep at night. I mean, shaking, it's what goes with the sport. For me, I approach it differently. That's what makes it exciting. Some parts are miserable. I don't enjoy every part of being gone for a month and a half and, competing when everyone in the world is watching Olympic Games. It's really not that much fun. Racing is fun, and afterwards is fun if you get your hand on the wall first. But there's a lot of parts that I don't like. And it's just, I call it baggage. It's stuff that comes with the sport. But I think the more we openly talk about it, I think we could help a lot of people, athletes and non-athletes, people in the workplace, just normal day-to-day people. You don't have to be some superstar to be feeling these feelings. So to have the superstars talk about it, I think it makes it feel more human.
Appreciate that education, man. Before I let you get on out of here, you are a Florida Gator. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. I still live in Gainesville.
That's right. That's good to know. I'm glad you brought that up because, I saw those football rankings come out the other day, Caeleb. And, once upon a time, I mean, it was the Florida Gators with Urban Meyer and my friend Tim Tebow and the crew winning national championships. But now we see Alabama, of course. I see Florida somewhere hovering around the top 10, but certainly not the top 4. I mean, any explanation? Any thoughts about what the Florida Gators are going to do this season, sir?
The preseason rankings don't mean anything. They always put Alabama at the top. They always put Notre Dame at the top. I mean, it's the same top 5 every year. So give us our first 3 games. I think Alabama's our 3rd game, right?
Right. I think so. I didn't look at the schedule yet, but I think so. You might be right.
I mean, we'll see. Hey, maybe you can have me back on after that. Then maybe we can do some arguing. I would love to. That might be fun.
Hold on, Caeleb. Are you sitting here and implying that Florida is going to beat Alabama? Is that what you're saying?
I have to. I have to say that. If I come back home after this trip, I'll get beat up. I'll get beat up if I show up in Gainesville and don't say that.
Oh, okay. Now you know what this means, right? This means that when I'm on TV and Florida's playing, I'll be thinking about you anytime I'm watching the Florida Gators. You know that, right?
Deal. And you can call me out. You can call me out.
September 18th, y'all play Alabama. At the Swamp. At the Swamp. Alabama is coming to the Swamp on September 18th.
I'm ready for it. I won't be there, but I'm ready for it.
I'll say this: if they can play half as good as you can swim, they might have a chance. They might have a chance.
It'll be good. It'll be good. I grew up a Gator. I got to see the 06 football, 06 basketball, 07 basketball, 08 football.
Right.
I've seen it all.
All right, Billy Donovan, Joakim Noah, and the crew. Okay, you know your stuff. You know your stuff. Appreciate you big time, man. Thank you for being on the show, buddy. All the best to you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir,
All right,
Stephen A.
man.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.